All right, here we are, halfway through the second year in Mr. President. I feel like I'm surviving the storm better than I felt like I was right after the China acts that happened here. Now, China has already acted this time, and they weren't as dangerous as last time. I'm not as afraid of Russia. I don't think they can do as much damage. But the thing that I've kind of learned is, hey, my allies and stuff can help make up for what, my peers, China and Russia, are able to do, along with the rogue states of Iran and Korea. High on off of coming out of a good first year, honestly, even though not much happened. It did feel like a good year. I passed a landmark bill on cybersecurity, which means I can't pass it again, but that's okay. I can only do one thing. And I passed a bill on immigration reform. I've got a chance to pass a couple more bills, perhaps. There's a lot in the lineup. Some of them are opponents' bills. I have huge popularity, good ratings across the board. This easiest level is feeling controllable, but there are a lot of -1s baked into all the charts that make it easier, along with some other things. Stuff like the radicalism of your friends and enemies and stuff like that. The world is not in perfect shape. I don't think that's possible in this game. You can't make a peaceable, happy world. But it's in okay shape. We're actually at war with Afghanistan, although we defeated their main army and it's now a guerrilla war, and we're quite far on that. Korea, the war has erupted again, and the Republic of Korea. Whoa, I went in the wrong direction. This should be here. The defending forces are winning. Yeah. I just think of the left as me because I'm left here, but I shifted that in the wrong direction. The Republic of Korea is beating North Korea pretty well. The Chinese tensions are up at a high level, which is scary. I don't see too much else. I've kind of tried to keep other things under control, including domestically, most of the problems. So I'm in a pretty comfortable place. Scandals have cleared up. I have a useful NSA staff in addition to my wife being pleasing to the populace. There are only a couple of cascading events that are waiting for me to finish up. That is the one that's forced me into the war, and then mass shootings, which honestly, it would help me to get the gun legislation passed, but I feel like the reactions of this administration have been such that I'm kind of opposed to that, so I pushed it away, willing to take the effects and lean on thoughts and prayers as opposed to actually doing anything, even though my party relations are not strong and bipartisanship is very high, although my opponents are going to force that down if I don't start neutralizing them. Anyway, that's a broad overview. I've got a couple of legacy points picked up already. We shall see. We shall see what it all comes to. But it feels like I've got a pretty strong presidency so far. And that's leaning me towards playing the next game on the normal level to suffer, a little bit worse. Okay, back up here, feeling a little faint, but I don't know. Not sure why. I've eaten enough and didn't lose any blood, so I don't know. We're on the Russia Acts, at least unnoticeable, segment. And to begin with, the tensions are relatively low. That actually improved our relations with Russia and didn't increase their posture. We're going to remove those tension markers, and then we go forward with their strategic capabilities and whatnot. At a point of recon intel gathering, and that's going to put us to the espionage check. We only get one. Are there any modifiers to this? Yeah, there are. And the effect there was Steal Military Secrets War Plans. They improve Afghanistan by a couple of points. Doing what's wise, yeah, like we should be doing. If you can identify a dangerous power, make sure that any conflicts they're involved with don't go well. How we beat Russia in the the Soviet Union in the Cold War. And onward, succeeded in improving their economy a little bit, and mainly due to the influence that they have going throughout their neighboring areas, and not Asia Pacific, but whatever. And they're going to have 6 actions to take, and we go through the whole list, see what applies, etc. I'll come back and report as appropriate. And we just missed, if we allow terror in Central South Asia to increase just one more, Russia would help us take care of it. This is the thing that I don't really have a grasp on, these kind of aspects. Yeah, it makes sense, but I'm like, oh, I'm the one trying to deal with these problems. And I've made it through the dependent actions without expending any of them, which means we're going to be hitting all kinds of remaining actions. Does a couple cyber actions. One succeeds in getting them influence in Eastern Europe. The other fails to discredit the US president. Now we're going to gray zone attacks. We were able to avoid this because there are no sanctions. This is probably how the Russian sanctions got removed. And then warming gave us some naval increase, which actually puts everyone at the same naval force rating. I don't know if that means that the Russian Navy has caught up to the US, but the quality of it has caught up, which is scary in and of itself. Onward. Neither of these applied, so I don't think they're charged. It doesn't actually say that I saw, but instead we veto the sanctions over here on Iran. Oh no, those are multinational. Those are not UN. There are no UN sanctions. Awesome. So we don't do that. We keep going. Assist Iranian nuclear. Our relations are bad. So we'll attempt to help. There is a multilateral, so there's +2 on the die roll. It may not work. It doesn't work. We keep going. Next one's North Korean missiles. North Korea is in the eligible space. Do we have any penalties here? I don't see any here. Add the number of sanction counters on North Korea. Yeah, that's 1. That fails as well. That was another mission. The last one, Middle East influence. There's fewer than 3 Russian influence. Okay. We'll attempt that. U.S. regional alliance is 7, so that's not likely. 11. And that was our last one. So we don't prepare for war with NATO, at least. Okay. And that appears to be all of it, which brings us down to any 3 actions. I don't know what I'm most worried about. Domestic looks good, although improving the economy would be nice. And that's not public. The economy, I'm very unlikely, that should be here. I'm very unlikely to be able to improve the economy. So that would be not a bad choice. I spent 2 action points on that and still managed to fail. Luckily there's no screw-up cost for that. But I can only do that once. Worried about this, I tried again to do intel there. I failed. Part of the problem is my focuses aren't in there. And I like where my foci are. Let's see if the right conjugation for my Latin. But this is so scary that, like, I'm going to do it again, intel in there. I do not want that terror group to cause a rogue state or anything like that. So we'll try once more. It's still not good enough. I need a 4 or less. We'll try on the terror group 2 as well. Well, at least we got somewhere on that. And that uses up my capabilities here. Is there anything else hiding here? There is not. It's chit time. I'll relight my pipe and start on that. A couple of cards. Let's look at the first one here. Conflict of interest scandals plague the White House. +1 domestic crisis. Not what I want. Yeah, these are just bad. -2 public approval. Okay. Place attention in POTUS. Okay, this one goes in the 5 space now. Their number doesn't matter. And this could cause us problems. I'm wondering if we can get a scandal here. Yeah, I guess eventually. And the second one, influential congressman caught in web of lies. Uh-oh. We roll a die. Congressional opponent. Either defend them and remove the opponent from the opponent's box. I like that. +1 public approval, -1 party relations, and move bipartisan co-op up. Oh, I don't like that. Or attack them. +1 party, +1 public, move by. Fuck, I don't know. I don't want to do either. I really don't. I want to just let them all right. -1 party. That'll drop my friends. Fuck. Yeah, I want to get rid of one of these radicals. Okay. Odd even. This guy goes away. We lose a friend. We lose a moderate. We're still radical, unfortunately. That's because my party relations drop below having enough friends. Move bipartisan co-op to the right. And this is a redraw, I believe. I really have trouble seeing these. They're so small. We draw another chit. I like the randomness in this game. I am beginning, to get a handle on what the levers are to some extent, I think. Increasing pirate attacks, target energy supply lines through the Straits of Malacca. +1 regional crisis, and at a level 1 and level 2 in Asia Pacific. Oh God, whole bunch of stuff. Okay, let's do that. Of tension, I'm really worried about the Chinese tensions. You may immediately spend 2 APs to send the U.S. Navy to enhance security in the Straits. If you choose, roll a die. Why would I want to do this? Regional +1 regional crisis in Asia Pacific. Place a trending anti-U.S. Oh, if you choose not to. Well, I don't want the regional crisis, so there goes the APs. Fair enough. And I think that's an R again. Looks like it. I have this blue-green thing where, and with it that tiny, with not much of a letter, it's really tough on me. Okay, one more chit, because we got lots of pluses here. Don't like all those pluses. Oh, this would have been helpful earlier. All right, 2 more crises. Manila offers U.S. Navy unlimited access to Subic Bay naval facilities. What's up with this? Okay, if I accept, I get a +1 regional crisis in Asia Pacific. And lots of problems. If I decline, I get a trending anti-U.S. I do not like this no matter what. I do not want a major crisis. I'm not willing to spark that. So we get a trending anti-U.S., which I definitely don't like. And decrease an ally relationship with one random Pacific ally by a level. 1, 2, 3. Japan. With all that tension, Japan is not happy about this. I don't like what just happened here at all. If this was a terrorism event, I probably would have canceled it. I get one more draw. Bad shit happening. Violence in the Kashmir escalates. This can't be good. Increase India-Pakistan conflict by 1 box. Uh-oh. Hey, China, you gonna pull your buddy back? Place 2 tensions, each on China and India. Wow. I'm gonna have to clear some of these problems. There is no question of that. I mean, China is turning into a mess. Escalation roll. You can spend 2 APs to mediate for -2 DRM. I can't afford to have a fight here. So we will try. Conflict accelerates and spreads anyway. Okay, we're in trouble. India-Pakistan conflict goes up by a space. That puts them into war. We got to deal with that. That's going to trigger a war. This got complicated real fast. And that is a D. +1 AP to China. And attentions in China and India. Increase China-India by 1. And trending anti-U.S. on China-U.S. relations. I'll do all that stuff. Start setting up the 3rd war here. It is going to be a ground war again because it didn't say anything special. Status is stalemate, but we don't know who the attacker is. Odd it's Pakistan even. Okay. So set it up this way. You know, it's kind of funny. Pakistan was kind of was more of an ally to us in the Afghanistan conflict, but so-so. I don't really feel like we're allied with either India or Pakistan to any degree. It feels like a really weird situation right now. Used to be Pakistan was a strong U.S. ally, but I guess that was prior, because of the way the Taliban and Pakistan kind of sort of work together to some extent. And obviously, it's just both are complicated states. And I don't really feel like India is our ally, but maybe they fit more as such under the constraints of this game. But anyway, we check their strengths. India's a 7. Pakistan's only a 5. But that would be worse if we weren't playing the easy game. Relative strength gets added. That's +1 for India. Okay. The war counter's there. I don't know where we make the surprise check. Certainly before we roll any dice for the combat we have to. And that appears to be here. I've got to find out whether there's a possibility. There's got to be a possibility of surprise. Huh? Looks like there is not. I just looked it up. So this is not a U.S. war. We add 1 to the regional crisis. Bomb. This is looking bad. Everything's falling apart now. Russia, we got through Russia relatively easily, but now we got big problems, and there's all these tensions building up. Japan, that we're only close with now. China, wow. And now another war, and we did the strength. So we're looking at 5 attacking and 8. And we have to put this here. That's going to be a 1 to 2. And we look through the modifiers here. I don't. Okay, Russia-China influence here. That's 1, so that's going to be a -1 on here in favor of the attacker. Okay. 1 to 2 at -1. Without surprise. Oh, this is going to be horrible for the Pakistanis. 1 to the right, 2 attacker losses, and make peace, end war, both sides spent. Ignore on initial progress roll, so that does not happen. So this shifts, and they're down to a 3. Going to be interesting to see what China does about this. And I think that's all. Which means we could end up with a counterattack situation, which I think allows India to start actually winning the war and maybe turn it into a guerrilla war. I don't know how it flexes. It wouldn't make a lot of sense for the attacker to to end up in a guerrilla war, particularly, I think, if they remain the attacker. And that got us through all of those. We're not ready for that. So that's pause time. Now with my sunset check and overeating done, we're going to move to the Ally Rogue group, UK, Japan, and North Korea only. See what we get. Joint action, we do some intel to get the terror groups moved up, and then some humanitarian aid there, which is successful. Now we get our die roll. We're at -1 for no tension. Break even with the Russians. Russian NATO conflict status. Yeah, it's greater than 1. That puts us to a more embattled position, so we're at +2. That means we're more likely to do nastiness with them, honestly. I don't see anything too bad on their side, on the high end. Oppose the bear, remove 1 influence, Russian influence from Eurozone or East Europe. Your choice. We'll take it out of Eastern Europe because we definitely don't want a base there. I didn't realize I was in that much danger. And that's cool. That is going to put me over to Japan because there was no tension with UK. And Japan is a problem. How much tension do we have? +3, +4, +5. That's enough to cause a problem. First of all, we are now estranged, which means we don't get a joint action with Japan. You have +4 max. Yeah, there's tensions. +5. And the Japan-China brings it up to +6. How bad is this? Doesn't look dangerous. It looks like we do things against China. Oh boy, do we. Cyber attack against China. Let's see. I'll tell you what happens from that. The first time we've ever done one of these against China. Can go +3, -4. Difference of if Russia or China has a greater cyber strategic than the US. They do not. Well, we're not higher than China. I think this would only be China in this case, but I'm not sure. Yeah. Oh no, it's the highest of the two, so they would help each other. No. So it looks to me like we're just at even. Let's see what happens. Just relative strength on one of China's conflict tracks by 1 in their opponent's favor. Your choice. A -1 AP on China and a worsening counter on China's SOE. However, we also have an impact of this. I chose to pick on China versus India rather than Japan, even though this is Japan doing this, because, I don't know, it doesn't seem to affect me. And now there were no modifiers on here, so this is just a natural die roll, I guess. And we get a 5. China deeply suspicious that the US did it. 3 extra tensions and a trending anti-US on China's relationship. Well, the trending anti-US is already there. The tension with China is extreme. Gotta feel the counters. Ugh. Oops. We didn't see that. We know it's a plus, but I'm not gonna reshuffle. And that was unilateral action. Now we get to remove we get just two tensions on Japan, but things are not pretty. It feels like Japan, well, for Japan, it feels like they're being left out and kind of abandoned, and they're really worried about this. Maybe trying to connect up with India. The reason I wanted to do the India is because of the India-Pakistan war. Reducing China's effect there might make them less able to make an attack on India. I don't know what happens if, like, India ends up at war with both. Right now, India-China is actually equal, so that's pretty good for India. Now the next thing, we got to check on stable states always. It's not mentioned here, and not a secondary thing. The secondary thing is the cabinet. Now we do North Korea. How bad is that? Well, the tensions aren't too high. But we also have to worry about the sanctions, which cancel them out, mostly. North Korea is at war and losing the war. I think that is the opposite of winning, so it would work. Not absolutely certain of that, but we're going to assume it. We roll to see about the war. We'll attempt to reinforce. Okay. And we add a strength to our side of the war here. Now this is still a ground war, and South Korea still has the advantage there. If they're not at war, we do their actions, but otherwise we're just going to replace the tensions and the sanctions. Eurozone nor Eastern Europe have any unstable states, so I don't have to worry there. And we move to the second part of this, which is the POTUS cabinet focus, where we make our die rolls and see if we get any improvement on any of the focuses. Foci, stop yourself. And we'll work our way from the 4. Won across the board on this. Everything was successful. Ended up getting media and Congress relationships, a point of public approval. What else? Reduced the domestic crisis by 1. Somewhere or another we got action points. Was it from this? Maybe we weren't at any domestic crisis. Maybe we just got the 2 action points for that. That was this and this. I got them. Oh no, we got the action points. We got 3 off that, and we got rid of the domestic crisis. So now I've got a better number of action points available. It's going to put me here. I don't know if I have the stomach to do this next one. I really just wanted to do a little bit while I digest. That's going to be this set. Mainly, the thing I'm worried about is the legislative being kind of painful. I'll hold off. The hell with it. I feel like doing more. Okay, so media relations drops. That's the first thing here. Then I get a couple of domestic actions. I want to deal with the economy. I don't know what else is of great importance to me. Maybe dealing with those terror cells there. Instead of the terror cells, I dealt with this. I was successful in both. And we only get 2. We go down to the legislative segment. Okay. Support or opposition. Total the sum of your legislative ratings of your friends and enemies. It's 3-2. I got 1 in my favor. So I can move a bill a little bit. I'm less worried now about the lingering domestic, so I'm going to move the tax reform. Lingering domestic is, I think, one of my priorities. Actually, it's not. It was a cabinet priority. Okay. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, it's not something I care about much. Okay. Now, I'm able to try to pass 2 bills. I control both houses, so it's my choice. Roll a d6 and apply the DRM, which is -2. We'll go for the infrastructure first. And we pass it. This is kind of interesting. I got to keep these separate because I have to check the effectiveness. And then the tax reform, which also passes. Awesome. Now we check bill quality. That's going to be D5. Okay. And a good bill is just 2 through 5. Yeah. We have a -1, so no matter what, they're going to be good. Infrastructure first. It's just a good bill. What number is that? That's number 2. +2 public approval, an action point, and we just did an infrastructure upgrade, which will be these 2. We got effects of that. Oh, I gotta be trying to get myself one of these great societies. I don't know if I can. I think I can now that this is at 0, but I haven't really been paying attention to them. And the tax reform is just a good bill. That is number 3. More public approval. We get that there. Tax reform was not ours. It's one of these. Keep that in mind. I did not get a landmark. Sausage, D6. Flip. These are additional rewards. Hold on. We passed infrastructure, which was number 2 on both. I get a legacy and more public approval. Great. I get a legacy and a couple of action points. Better. My public approval is maxed out. I kind of don't like that. These go away. And then the tax reform was down at number 5 here. I get nothing for that. Whatever. Not sure why I passed it. Kind of going backwards here. Campaign promise, I must have done that before because I cleared that out. I don't really recall doing these before, so I'm really not sure. Like, I think I forgot to record these. I don't know. I'll leave it as is. I'm playing the easy version. It's easy enough. Now, what are my DRMs over here on congressional maneuvering? And this is going to be common in a game of this nature for me. I'm going to have trouble, and I am going to struggle with being able to get all the modifiers, all the special cases, and everything right. If I truly believed that this was like a detailed, an absolutely detailed and correct model, I would worry about that more. This is a kind of game where if there is that kind of detail and expectation, I'm like, I don't know, man. You're putting so much in and I'm not getting it right. My feeling with something this complicated, but still fairly abstract, is that it's okay. It's okay. It's fudging it. It's not, I ran into a couple of games that had that kind of detail on them. I'm going to point them out recently. Knock Paris, which was an operational war game, and a while back from that, Summer Storm, which was a Gettysburg game where large lists of modifiers and such not, effects, whatever, I wasn't always getting them right. And I felt like that was a game that was designed with all this added complexity to try, to beat out the competition of games of its nature and in terms of detail and realism. And that what was ending up happening was I was going to fuck up enough that any realism that I might get off of that, any effects I might have gotten off of that kind of detail and realism were like thrown away by the fact that I didn't get it right. Here, this is a model that I feel is trying really hard, but there's no way that it can get that kind of complexity, and that the amount of modifiers and complexity and detail and whatever that's present in this are in some ways presenting you with this more complex and obfuscated game, but obfuscated in a nice way. In that once you kind of realize what's going to kill you and what you need to do more or less, the other things are just sort of random events, and it's okay if you don't get them right. Anyway. I definitely am glad this is gone, because it's a penalty if not. So what are we looking at? -1, -2, -3. I'm loved by everyone. -4. Wait, what? Oh, leftmost box. Okay. So I've got a -4 on a D6. Can it go to -4? No. -3. We get down to a 1, opponent's waiver. If RWC is 7 or more, it is. I get 2 additional action points. This is good. I can do more. And get rid of an opponent. Awesome. That gets me back to not having a radical. I don't know. Did I just throw a radical in? I'm not sure. And that's it. So that's the sausage making. Now, I didn't get any landmarks, so they don't go away forever. But I am allowed to place new bills, and I'm going to be able to put them in the -1 box. I would kind of like to, if I can, do the Greater Society initiatives. We have a limit here. Domestic crisis level has to be 0 and can only be introduced during a legislative segment. When you introduce it, put the GSIs on the +1 space. But when I pass it, good things happen. I'm going to look at these and make a decision if there's one that I really, really want to pass. These have to be passed twice to fully succeed. But I'm only halfway through my first term, so maybe I can do it. Cybersecurity was up here. That should have been removed. I am almost certain that I did not do these. So I'm gonna give myself these. That was a landmark bill. That would have increased my party relations. What's this? Cheat it there. Relations with Congress are as high as possible. 3 more APs. And it was my #1 priority, which gives me a legacy point and 4 more APs. I am rich in action points. I would have had to have removed these at some point or another. Cybersecurity was not here. The other one that I did pass was immigration reform. Oh, this one goes away too. That was a cybersecurity as well. I think I cleared that one out or something. Maybe not. Healthcare, energy. I guess it's not a big deal. And so I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, this was a landmark. I certainly did not get all that, I think. But let me think about the Great Societies, what I can get away with. Go for security and defense for my big one, and energy independence, which is the public's biggest worry right now, if not mine. Because who knows? I'm pretty sure I'm not going to be able to pass 2 Great Society things through. It's going to take a lot of work to get this down. We'll see if my next term looks good. Total media ratings of friends from opponents. I got media 2. That boosts my public opinion some more, beyond wherever it wants to go. And I did not get it enough to get a media point, which sucks, because media decreases all the time. There's no scandals. All my friends and opponents, they're not more moderates or radicals. And now I get 2 extra capabilities that I can do out of anything. And we probably want to try to push that security advantage, but there may be things that, oh man, oh my God, I don't know what that's going to do. It's going to be a very hostile China. Yeah, I may need to fix things. Okay, one, I tried to pass my military bill. I pushed that forward a little bit. The other is I'm trying to fix things with Japan. I failed at that. Boink. That puts me to a chit. Oh, what the hell? It's 3 cards. Oh, well, that's more than I hoped for. Congressional Gang of 7 from your party pushes controversial education reform, mass teacher protests. Yeah, I'm definitely the Republicans here. I lose a public approval. Place attention on the cabinet. There goes my Homeland Security focus. Do I support or oppose it? Supporting it would help my party relations, which I mean, I'm in a place that's bad. I may not get reelected if I don't support this. If I oppose, oh, good Lord. I have to support it, don't I? Okay. We lose some public approval. I'm okay with that. Screw education. Then, I think no matter what, I get education in the 0. Yeah, it could have ended up as an opponent. And education reform becomes the #1 public priority. Interesting. This boots the energy infrastructure down and takes over on top of there. No, everything else remains as it is. And now I got to worry about the media slant. I don't remember what that does. I can never remember. Yeah, I don't know which way it goes. 27. Luckily, this is in there. I have a media of 7, so I get a public approval. And that's it. Excellent. This card goes away. Was not a good one. Mexican government protests U.S. policies on confinement and deportation of illegal minors. Oh, more of media slant, though. A trending anti-U.S. in Central America. +1 regional crisis. Did we miss something? I think I was supposed to get a regional crisis, a domestic crisis off this card. No, it was possible, but I got the public approval hit. Cool. I can take public approval hits. Those seem to come pretty easily. A regional crisis here. Oh, don't like that. +1 domestic crisis. -1 public approval. I'm doing horrible things here. Immigration reform is now the primary. And I'm not going to have the ability to pass something because I just passed immigration reform. Horrible. And so that shifts everything down. This card will go away, but first I have another media slant. Oh, look, the public approves of me. And now the third one and final, technological breakthrough. That can't be bad. Oh, no, it is. It's not me. Oh, crap. This isn't something I can destroy. So China develops new high-tech military. Increase that country's strategic capability, one of them by 2 boxes. Okay. All right. So first, China, they have fallen the worst in this compared to me. So now they're good at intelligence. I can live with that, I guess. And then their relative strength in one of their conflict tracks at random. That's going to either be India or Japan. I'll do odd even. Yeah, it's India. Not this one. Back up to the start. And this goes back in the deck. Not pleasant. We're going to be down here. I am definitely going to pause at this point. Whew. This here for some reason. I screwed around online for a while, and now I feel like I need to play a little bit more because of it. So we'll do the Focus National Intelligence, and then I get a bunch of actions, and then we'll see what else, how much more I want to do. Places where I got weak groups. I'm going to use my NSA to strike with drones in Central South Asia. We haven't done this before, so let's take a look. WM2. Geez, I feel like it's this one, yeah. There we go. Airstrike is in blue. See, this is kind of dangerous, but I don't know. It feels better. I'm going to do drone strikes. I think they're easier. So, Intel, focus natural, Intel is -2. Where's this additional -1? Wait, what? I get an extra -1. Okay. -1, -2. We're in the target fix, so that's -3. And there's not a lot of influence. All right. It's a D10. I can't go higher than -2. Unable to identify an attack. No effect or losses. And I think I have to hit a different group, so I'll go for this one. And again, I'll be up -2. Strike is effective with no collateral damage. Decrease the terror group by 1 level. That's all I needed. And now you go here, and I am not higher than both Russia and China any longer. My space is, though, so that's a -1. I don't know what the region is. Oh, I'm doing this once per region. So here, okay, space warfare. No, my space warfare is better. So yeah, I'm at -1 in the Mideast. That gets me the good one. Move a level 3, 2, or 1 into the targeting. I don't have anything there. Effect on war. Is there a war here? I'm not at war there. There's no civil war there. So I get almost nothing off of it. This is not a good place for me to have it, but I haven't gotten the opportunity to move it. I don't remember when I'm able to move it. Over here to Central Asia. Again, -1 there. And that's all I get. And here I get not as good a roll. Move a level 3, 2, 1 terror group into the locating box. Yeah, there's nothing there either. So, my national intelligence did not help me. And now I get an action each cabinet member. Most of the cabinet members have more than one. I'll report back on what I'm doing. This is going to be pretty hefty. Secretary of State decreased the regional crisis here. That's highly important, I think, because I don't want the major crisis to happen. And then he got a very successful roll in dropping 2 tensions out of China. I don't know what this is all going to do, but I've just got such a shit ton in there. I can't afford to let that grow, but I'm also worried about other places like India. I don't know. I did some intel in Africa. Now I'm going to launch some drone strikes. I want to clear out some of the terror. I've just got too much growing there. Didn't work well. I got me a military footprint there and lost a couple of public approval and didn't get anything done. Oops. I got to get my focus down there. And I also didn't have Air Force in there either, which all made it harder. But I feel like I needed to do something about that. That was probably my best choice for military stuff. Although DARPA is, of course, interesting as well. I don't have extra actions with either the vice president or chief of staff. I'm going to do the chief of staff next because they can only do domestic. To try to deal with the domestic crisis, I failed. It's not a bad failure, but still, I'm kind of wasting my actions here this turn, feels like. Vice president is limited to domestic or diplomatic. I feel like diplomacy is the more important right now. Check to make sure. I looked at a summit with China. What is this? I don't know what this is. This is some kind of spread of the values. There were a couple of things that are interesting, but I'd only get to do one issue in China because of our crappy relationship. And the things I would be interested in are removing sanctions or improving trade, both of which could reduce tensions by one if we're successful. But the question is, what would China demand? Now, removing sanctions, they wouldn't really demand anything, but those sanctions are helpful to me. And it would take both of them out, so that's no good. Improving economy on China and the U.S. Would give me a +1 AP. And China probably would do nothing, but they might insist on pressuring India over this. They're not going to help me with a civil war or anything like that. So I don't feel like that's a terribly useful option. I don't really feel like there's any great need to deal with Russia, but maybe there is. I don't know. I kind of feel like I just need to get rid of these Chinese influences. There's so many of them. Not the influences. The Chinese tensions. But I'm at -1. -2, -3 puts me to -1. Yeah, I think it's just worth it. Do I want to spend action points on this? Yeah. I was at -1. Let's get it down to -2. And nothing good happens. There goes my VP. Now I can do a POTUS action as well, which could be anything. I consider inviting the Japanese to the White House. I could break even on that. Why don't we do that? With an action point. Actually, I have an automatic -1. So I have a -1 on this. Hey, that's nice. So we improve the relationship back up, and one of these tensions goes away. And I think we cleared that. Now I have 4 diplomatic or military actions to do, which is a pretty powerful thing. And these all shift back down. What was this? I can't read these things. Cabinet improvement, okay. And these others are at the beginning of the turn. Invite the Japanese in again. And again, I pay an AP. I've got a shit ton of them. So that's at -2 now. Fuck. Well, I only get to do that once. Get rid of a couple of Chinese tensions. I have to consider military actions too, but right now I'm more worried about diplomatic shit going wrong. I've got a problem here. Both Israel and Russia, Ukraine are close to going to war. Now, I have room for 2 more wars. So I'm not gonna get my panties in a twist about that yet. But it's something to keep an eye on. There's a lot of different tracks that can lose you the game if you're not careful. We are going to do something else. Use military professionals to create infrastructure in a war-torn region. We are worried about the regional level here, and this is able to do both that and the crisis level. So we get a -1. SecDef gets us to -3. Russia's in there, it gets us to -2. I don't have an option to pay. I already paid the action. Place a trending pro-US in the region. Okay. That helps. That was the main thing I was worried about. Receive a new UN goodwill counter. Get rid of a military footprint. And since there is some, I don't get the regional crisis bomb. My last action, I'm looking for the DARPA counter. I want to put that, there it is. I'm going to put that on the strategic intel. I'm not happy that China's tied with me there. And that eats up all my actions and flings me up here. We'll draw a chit. We're almost out of chits. Uh-oh. It's a card and a plus. Instability, Civil War, Rogue State. Uh-oh. Roll a d10 for a random region, then make a stability check for that region. Random region is 7, South America. Stability is a 6. Oh! +1 regional crisis in the region. Place a Civil War counter in that region. Fuck. Where are my Civil Wars? They're over here. Okay, that didn't help. And what's worse is this is a continuing event. So it goes over there. We get another chit. Regional Summit. I don't know what it does. For the Regional Summit table in world charts and follow its directions. Okay, I'll be there. I'll come back and report what it does, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I've done this before. Let's take a look at it. I don't know. What's my order? WD2. It's in this direction. D10 for the region. South America. Fitting. The regional crisis is 2 or higher. No. Or there is a war, level 4 terror group. Neither of those. Or any rogue state. Nope. Stability is 4 or less. Nope. Otherwise, it'll be a global issues summit. Okay. Regional alignment check above. The fuck? Oh, make a regional alignment check. Okay. That's only a 5. Stability's actually good. I fail. That blows. So that's a +1. Do I want to spend? Maybe. No ally. None of this. There's an influence that gets me to +2. I'll spend 2 action points, assuming that I want low. Get a 5. Task yields no progress. Well, la-dee-da. And now we get a domestic crisis. Roll a d10 and reference d9 in the domestic charts booklet. I don't know if we've seen this before. Place a tension counter on the cabinet focus. Sure. We may want to eliminate some of these. They're beginning to eat into our capabilities. Then roll a d10 to find out what the result is. Social unrest riots, +1 domestic crisis level. -2 public approval. Oh no! -1 media relations. It's not my fault. Then make a public approval check. The fuck's a public approval check? I don't know what a public approval check is. Oh, that's off here. Okay, so that's a 7, I'm guessing. Okay, I don't have much choice there. Okay, bad things happen everywhere from that. That eats these up. Now I'm on any 3 actions and core support, which is gonna do nothing to me. Did the Japanese back again. This time it was successful. We got them to very close. I view allies as so useful. I'm going to take 2 tensions off of India. And now what? I'm really scared of those Chinese tensions, what they might do to me. Fuck. But I'm also unhappy about other things. Why don't we try to clear out, no. I was going to say clear out the Middle East with a couple of drone strikes. That might not be a bad idea. Much as Israel can do a lot of work there for me, I think the drone strikes, I think clearing that out so I can get my intel focus somewhere else and maybe move some military around. So one was a clean hit. The other one caused some civilian casualties, which caused a military footprint, little public support hit, yada yada. Now my core support check, like I said, that does nothing. Terror versus chaos. We get terror. Increase regional crises in every region containing 1 or more rogue states by a box. Oh. That's not pleasant. Oh, rogue states. There aren't many rogue states. There's one here. Uh-oh. Don't like that. I think that's my only rogue state. And I'm trying to blow it up. In each region where there are at least 2 level 1 terror groups, remove 2 of them and replace with a level 2. Okay. Our situation has gotten fairly uglier. Now I roll a d10 on here. How many level 3 or 4 terror groups are on the board? It's not many. There's 1. Because they don't consolidate up to level 3. But still, it's +1. Ouch! Surprise terror planning or event. Here comes 9/11. Make a Homeland Security check. I'm only at 6. Ugh! Randomly draw 1 terrorism event card from the unused pile and immediately apply it just as if you've drawn it. I think that's the second deck here. Yep. Okay. Just as if I've drawn it. If this is bad, I can use my special capability to foil it. Bioterror attacks targets on DC subway. So Homeland Security. Am I? Oh boy. So I could just foil this. I have better than a 50-50 chance of succeeding here, but it's not a lot. I've got a 6 on Homeland Security. Do I want to chance this? I do not. I am going to cancel this one out. Rogue state on the board. Export to Eurozone. If there's a level 1 or 2 terror group in the Eurozone, there is. Randomly increase 1 by 1 level. All right. That's even. That's going to give me a level 3 terror in the Eurozone. Not happy about that. Okay. And we don't do chaos. I think we refill my pipe and we keep going. Remaining group is Group D, Canada, Gulf States, and then a rogue. Let's go with them. Actions with Canada. We hunted that terrorist group. We can only do it in Eurozone, Central, and South America that we can take actions in. But we can do humanitarian aid, which we did, I think, over here. Whatever was the 3-pointer, we hit that. Now we do a unilateral Canadian action. -1. 0. No. Is Russia, NATO a problem? Yep. +1. I'm hoping Canada's all good. Trade, economic impact on Eurozone or CONUS. Eurozone gets an economy improving. I can definitely use that. It's already, place it on the other. If both are at 7, ignore it and roll again. Okay, great. And Canada didn't have any tension. On to the Gulf states. A terror group, and we tried to improve the regional stability, but that failed. Unilateral. +2. That's a 2. So +3. +3 on the table. 8. Allow increased U.S. military basing. Add 1 tension to them and to Iran. Okay. Either add a trending pro-U.S. in the Middle East or remove 1 China influence. That's easy. Okay. Then the rogue activation. If there are no rogues, implement a 6 or more instead of rolling a d10. Okay. All right, highest created rogue state acts. Choose randomly if more than 1. There's only 1. WA3. That's this. That's over here. Okay. They do not have a -1 AP. Let's look. The level 1 or 2 rogue state is a war. I think there's a level 3. A level 3 or 4 rogue state is war. Do both. First, 5, it gets an extra strength. I'm the attacker. Yep. I'm not happy about that. That's getting to be a big number. It is a guerrilla war. And then place a trending anti-US in the Rogue States region and roll. Fan the Flames, +1 to regional crisis. No! And now, unstable states. Roll for each one in Central South Asia and Asia Pacific. I'll be back. No effect, but now we have the UN. And I'll go through their list. Most important, the humanitarian aid succeeded there. The other two did not. Now we go to peace talks. For either civil war or CWP in the lowest stability that contains such a counter. Got a civil war there. Civil war here. This is 6, 6. Yeah, stability in those Civil War regions. I think that randomizes it. Yep. It's going to be in Africa. -1 for UN. This is not me. Regional stability is actually decent. 9, that can't be good. Increase regional crisis by 1. Stupid UN. Okay. Now we're on the US initiated actions. I certainly am going to do both, to be honest. Well, yeah. Humanitarian aid doesn't look vital. Infrastructure I'm not allowed to do. I don't know. I'll come back. I had to fix a couple of civil wars. One of them succeeded. The other one did not. That's life. Spent an action point. Spent a goodwill counter. That'll get me to 3 domestic actions. I think we break there because my camera is saying batteries need to charge. You know, it's kind of funny. I'm in the mood to keep going, and it's not like I couldn't replace batteries if I was really in the mood. I'm not happy with the situation right now. It's looking ugly. There's things like this level 3 terror group. I could have worked on that. I could have worked on some of these other things, but there's so much, you know, that you want to kind of take care of. And I'm like, oh, those civil wars look like real problems, but I don't know if they really are compared to like things like terrorism. I don't know. Somebody just pointed out a big mistake that I've made, which is if the conflict track generates a Republic of Korea war, the US is involved in it. I don't know. There's no reminder here, which is a shame. It is clear here, I guess. I will resolve it from now on as if the US is involved in it. I can't go back and try to fix things that are going on. It's going to be something of a blowout as US troops get there. We'll say the US got caught kind of off their footing and whatever. I mean, it's all I can think of to do. Oopsie. Up here, it's kind of late Monday morning, like 10. I've been up for quite a while. Not enough sleep. Got some, there's no question of that, but it's kind of like just figured out ways of wasting my time. 3 domestic actions to go. Okay, let's get those in. Yeah, I actually had. I'm running out of lunch meat, which I kind of fuel myself on, and other things that I eat. So I made some burritos, which I haven't made in a while, and really wanted the taste of them, but I don't know. It's just kind of weird. It's like I should be going shopping, but there are things that I'm not eating because, I buy a pound or more of lunch meat. It lasts me a couple of weeks, so if I keep going shopping at a fast pace, I only eat the things that are easiest. Okay, let's get on with those domestic issues. We got the domestic crisis down to 0. Equally important, with 2 actions. Equally importantly, that gets my public approval up to 60, which is where I want it, because I want to use the bully pulpit to get that defense bill in play. Now that's going to cost me an action point just to do. -1, -2, -3. There's no limit on this one. But -3 is, I think, as good as you could do up to -4. That gets me a 1. I get to move that bill. And this makes me happy. Because it's something we'd really like to pass. It would also help us. It gets us more military and whatnot, which is also good. The interesting thing is, the government, here's one weird view in this. The government finances are kind of unlimited. Whatever you do in this game, like build up my military, increase it by like 20% or something. I don't know. I think that's how many pieces you can get in total over everything. Maybe not that much. But a massive increase in military, increases on major programs like space warfare and stuff like that, missiles. These have a huge effect on the economy. Now, this is ignoring the debt side of that entirely. Like, yes, you might jumpstart the economy and fuel it up with certain aspects and whatnot. They give you additional action points and whatnot. That lets you do more. Okay, I get that. But some of that do more shouldn't cost much. Like using the bully pulpit, that costs an action point. Action points are kind of money. They come out of there. And they don't really fit. Like it's not going to cost the government a huge amount of money for me to rally support for a bill. The implementation of the bill might, like something like tax reform, that could have a huge cost or a huge revenue gain. Things like, these other things like healthcare, et cetera. And because it's not taking an ideological point of view in it, and it's not handling the debt and the actual finances of the government in any detail, everything is kind of abstracted away in a way that, like, you're just sitting there and you're like, yeah, I just built up my military to a huge degree. Where is that getting paid for? Is that just coming out of more debt? Have I given, like, a tax break at the same time? Like, Republicans tend to do. Yeah, let's boost military spending and give a tax break, and yeah, that'll stimulate the economy enough that that it all works out even, right? And it never does. It's it's why the biggest, among other things, the biggest deficit creator of all time is Trump. you know, Add to that the huge payout to everyone due to COVID, but other crappy shit too. There's just all this. He has absolutely no concern, and people look at the Democrats and say, oh, they just want to tax and spend. Yeah, tax and spend, the two kind of go together, and what ends up happening is the deals that they get to raise taxes or to spend on some programs ends up being all linked in, because the only way they can get away with it is to cut the overall spending and whatnot. And that's how Clinton ended up balancing the budget. Is he was forced to. He didn't want to do that. Okay. He would have much rather taxed and spent. And if the budget, he could leave the budget more or less where it was. Anyway, where the hell are we? We did 2 of our actions. We rolled this one. Yes, we did all 3 actions. Great. So we draw a chit. There aren't many chits left. It's 2 crisis cards. Okay. Greece defaults on massive debt to German banks. Greek unemployment of 25% caused massive riots. Nothing I can do about it. Worsening economy over here. +1 regional crisis. If Eurozone SOE is 4 or less, it's not, but it's not good. Or if Russia's is 5 or higher, oh, it definitely isn't. Russia will come to the aid of the Greeks. It wouldn't be bad if they actually helped them. Linked economies make US SOE check. Oh, ours is big. We are fine. And is that a D or an R? That's a D. And what are we at? 1 more. Okay. Mass corruption in Eastern European governments gives rise to mafia, terror, chaos. -1 stability in Eastern Europe. Not good. And we roll a D10. That's a 5. +2 regional crisis in Eastern Europe. Put 2 level 1 terror groups there. I mean, we had it under good control. But now it just jumps to hell, and that's another D, I think. If I can't tell, I think it's probably a D. All right, war progress. Geez, we have a lot of wars. Where are we? We were at the UN. I had a media check, I guess. I hope I did it. I don't know. I don't think we did. Yeah, I think we missed the media check. Check your media relations and apply any public. Yeah. I think we should have had +1 public opinion. Well, I'm pretty sure I did not do that, so I'm going to boost that. I might not have done both the domestic crisis, but that's fine. Wars. War status sideboard. Okay, so we got to remember here that the U.S. is involved in the Korean War now, as they should be. It was really bothering me that they weren't. It didn't bother me enough to look up things because there's so much rules and I don't know where to find things amongst all the books now. Now I have an idea of that other chart that are in kind of a weird placement order-wise. So we are going to be progressing regular wars first. All right, I'll do that. I'm trying to figure this out again. This is weirdly put together. I'm like looking at this and I'm like, what are we at here? We're not at starting a war. See, here's the thing. War progress starts here. Starting a war is here. Progressing a war, as opposed to war progress, is here. No wonder I get confused. Okay. So I'm going to start working up from War 1, which is a normal conflict, the ROK and US. Now, because I'm playing the easiest version, I'm allowed to use my forces everywhere. So I don't have to actually deploy them. Now, I don't think that's reasonable. It doesn't have an effect here because the only wars the US are involved in is here, where I actually shifted forces out. Oh no, I've got that there. Okay, fine. So this one, I've got 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 additional strength points, plus the 7 here is 23 to 3. Okay. All right, let's look to see. So this is a US war. 23 to 3. I don't know what this plus 4. Oh, this is my subs. 27 to 3. I guess. And we need to hold this page. 27 to 3. At -1 because of the heavy army. -2 because of the Air Force. There's Chinese there, so -1. I'm sorry, we're at even. Regional alignment is 6 or 7. I think that gets me another -1. Is my ground forces training in tech? No. Air Force training in tech. I doubt that too, yeah. So I think I'm at -1. And I don't remember what our numbers were. It's 4 to 1 or more. Let's put it that way. We do not get a great roll. 1 left, both lose 1. And this is going to go to a guerrilla, except the defender just won. Okay, what happens? What happens if you win a war? Ending a war. One side has strength of 0, an asterisk result. Yeah. Rogue state loses. This is not a rogue state. I guess this is a U.S. wins. +2 public approval. +1 media relations. Yay. +1 party relations. +1 relations with Congress. That can't go up. +2 legacy points. What's a crippling loss? Oh. I'll click on that and see if it gets me anywhere. Trending pro-US in the region. And this probably should have happened before because the US should have been involved to begin with. And I'm allowed to do a single move or deploy US forces with units from the region. There's something that should have happened. +1 regional crisis in the Wars region. This shit should have happened. Did I get a footprint? I thought I'd get a footprint. I don't know. There's so much fucking here. I don't see a footprint. Oh, place 1 footprint. There it is. Now I see it. Okay. Lots of footprint. But I get to move units. Now I can't move this thing, but I could move some of the forces out. And I am going to move a carrier and some Marines out here to help me against Afghanistan because, among other things, and I don't know if I think I mentioned this number looks ridiculous. I think I boosted the Afghan war instead of the US for something, but I'm not sure. Okay, so where are we? We're at this. Do we do all of these? Yeah, apply all of them, I guess. It says go through every relevant section that apply the war. Yeah, okay. So that was the US one. US ally won too, I guess. So that's an action point on Korea. Okay. +1 more public approval. Feels cheap, but I don't know. On the ally relationship is very close. +1 legacy point. Okay. Otherwise, improve allied relationship by 1 level. Okay. DPRK lost. Place a -1 next to the losing country. We can get rid of the war too. Decrease the losing country's nuclear missile track by 2 boxes, 1 by 1. See governing manual. The governing manual is about this because tensions on North Korea and the ROK disappear due to this. And it's not going to get rid of the sanctions. Okay. We didn't have an asterisk. Additional war cleanup. If it was governed by a conflict, reset that conflict 2 boxes before the war box. That's here. Reset the relative strength to at start, then move it 1 box in favor of the side that won. That'll be in favor of Korea, of the Republic. Remove the war counter and every counter from the war that just ended from its war track sideboard, which is this, these numbers, conflict type, conflict status. You know, somewhere I have a conflict type here. Let's put these near each other. There's no reason that they'd be there. U.S., and I don't know where the Koreans will go. And this marker goes back. All right, well, that was pretty mighty. And oh boy, you get lots of points for winning wars, man. Serious legacy there. Even more reason to be a neocon. Oh boy. Yeah, the game really, you know, despite Gene's statement about not being ideological, it is. It just happens to be the ideology of, like, you know, since Reagan, basically. It really is. This, let's stay, you know, we're going to be the world policeman. We're going to get involved everywhere, here, there, and everywhere. And yeah. And you could argue going before Reagan even. Certainly, yeah. I mean, the only thing that kind of hinders that since Reagan, that hinders that before Reagan is, yeah, after Vietnam until Reagan, there was kind of a, maybe we shouldn't get that involved in everything, you know? Maybe we shouldn't do such terrible things. Just like there was that kind of reaction that got Obama elected and actually got the Dems elected in the midterms on Bush's second term. But, you know, no new wars type thing from Trump also has had some momentum, although I don't think we've ever had a president who bombed as many places. Hey, but you know, he solved like the Iran war 34 times or something. He should get 34 peace prizes for that. Hey, oh, not only did he get the FIFA Peace Prize, he's also able to interfere and directly reach in and affect the games. That's an interesting factor. All right, here we are in my Afghanistan thing, and we're close to an end there too. Now, I only have 3 here for some reason, but I have a lot on the board, so we will go to that. This is a guerrilla war, which is different. Armor only count if they're not in transit. We didn't move any. If playing on normal or harder, army heavies only pay 3 each. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 points there. That puts me to a 19 to 8. That gives me a 2 to 1. Let's try to remember that, because we had trouble. Okay, there's a regional crisis. Oh, God. We have to fix this shit. And another military footprint. Why are there no military footprints over there? There's like one. I guess I haven't been fighting much. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And we may have lost one somehow. So we've got a 2 to 1, and we again have to have a bookmark and go over here. Now this is a guerrilla war. That gives a +2. I have an FNI, +1. Special Ops and Intel, 0. A Light and an Air Force, -1. Canceled that out because of Russia being in there. So it sounds like it's a 0 on 2 to 1. Seven, that's not great. No move, both lose 1. What's that? I just took a loss. Now, a U.S. loss, and again, I don't think I lose points off there. Although, I don't know, with Korea, I don't know if I could have taken Korean losses, but all kind of weird shit is going on because of that. So where are U.S. losses? Yeah, it would have hit me anyway. I take -2 public approval. This is the problem with wars, of course. You don't want them to last for a long time. Relation with media and RWC media. Oh, the media's pissed at my warlike ways. Congress, on the other hand, is like, bully. Okay. And then the third war, who the hell's in this? Pakistan and India. Wow. That's in Central Asia too. How about that? Regional crisis. Oh no. All right, no idea what that does, but that's going to trigger something, I'm sure. The little thing here says WD1. That's where I turn. I see there's a major crisis table. I'm not going to look up. I assume it's all here. The game's been pretty good about that. The only place where it's really kind of let me go was on cards. Not giving me a couple of places not telling me what kind of die to roll in the flip book and in cards. And the fact that the U.S. is automatically involved in the Korean War, which I should have been able to guess it would be. I mean, I was complaining about it. All right, regional stability. That's a 4. That's going to be +1. I have an ally. Cancels it. There's no civil war. There is at least one war, though. That puts it to +2. And a rogue state brings it to +3. Let's see what happens. That's a big number. That can't be good. Decrease regional stability and set the regional crisis to 3. Instead of 2. After resolving this effect, increase the highest level terror group in the region by 1 level. Okay. I don't know why I'd be setting the regional crisis to 2. I have the feeling that that might be in the rules somewhere, but I'm not seeing it. Oh, -2 public approval. Let's get that in there. Here it is. The regional crisis gets set back to 2 normally. Okay. If there's a U.S. ally, decrease 1 ally relationship by a whole level. India is no longer very close. I'll just put this up here. Then I guess I roll another die. We get a China influence in here. Increases that. And possible refugee crisis. It is not any of these. It is not that. There we go. The expanded crisis creates a flood of refugees that overwhelm local capacities. Put a -1 AP on Russia, or China in the other location, and place -1 AP on one U.S. ally in the region. Okay. Not thrilled. Well, maybe you shouldn't have gone to war with them. Ugh. And that should be it. That was the last of the wars, right? The India-Pakistan? No, I'm not done with it yet. I am not done with it yet. That was partway through the war. Now we look at the strengths, and we got 8-3, so we got a 2-1. We save this page. India's on their way to winning. Actually, it's 1-2. I got to be careful. Fuck. Did I screw up here? Because I did the 4-1. It wasn't 4-1. It's less than 1-2. I don't remember. It was also a guerrilla war. I think it was over anyway. I think we were all the way over. No, this wasn't a guerrilla war. This was a normal war. Yeah, we would have won it anyway. I may not have gotten all the results perfect. Here, it's again 1-2. I don't know what the modifiers are, and it's a normal war. U.S., no. No. India is the defender here. What is a U.S.-supported war? I don't know what a U.S.-supported war is. I don't really need to know. Influence that's there is 2, which gives, Jesus, I don't know what I'm doing anymore, which gives a -1 because the attacker is Pakistan. I think I'm just at -1 on the 1-2. And that's not going to be good for Pakistan. That's 2 right, attacker, 2 attacker loss. That is going to be the end of a war here. Okay. We don't have to worry about the asterisk result because that was only if one side hasn't won. Okay. Rogue state lost. No. This is Pakistan. U.S. ally wins. I don't see support anywhere. Place 1 AP on the ally. Well, that helps. There's going to be a -1 on the enemy. +1 public approval. Okay. Go India. If ally relationship is very close, +1 legacy. Otherwise, ally relationship goes back up. See? It's not so bad, India. You should be happy. Don't worry. There's got to be more India. Yeah. And these go away. Okay. Okay, let me relook at that. This was 2. If one side is not one made peace, yeah. I don't think we get an asterisk result. Additional war cleanup. Interestingly, Pakistan doesn't suffer for this, except 2 boxes before. So there's some conflict there. And reset relative strength in favor of the side that won the war. Yeah, not that. Yeah, it was here, it goes up to here. India has a bigger bonus. Remove the war marker, I did. And every counter from the war that just ended. Okay. All right, that was pretty hefty. Did we have more? Yes, we have civil wars now. Oh, this is a big counter. All right. I'm gonna back away a little bit, make sure everything's fine, and I'll come back with a report. More tea and I'm ready to face it. You know, I mean, I go downstairs and I almost get stuck down there, even though I have all my lights on up here and everything. Kind of crazy shit that I love. Did Odysseus discover America? And, you know, it's an interesting argument. It's not about Odysseus in particular. It's about whether there's, you know, another older tale that's gotten merged in and is the Odyssey, essentially, to carry that information over. Anyway, I'm just starting to watch it, and I'm like, oh, fuck. All right, let's do the Civil War. Actually, there aren't a lot of them. Nothing happened to the South American one. But here in Africa, we got a ceasefire, no UN peacekeepers here. Why is this kicking around there? Guess airstrikes or something. And the other one was a permanent peace, but fragile. Ends up with an unstable state there, which, you know, not ideal, but I guess it's okay. And that is going to be it. I'm going to go watch my video and try to recharge my batteries as well as the ones on the camera. Turning off the light though, I caught myself in a bit of an error. That rogue state, it should have taken a hit too, not just me. I took my hit, I forgot to give it its, and I'm already, you know, pretty skeptical about that being as high as it is. I'll live with it, whatever, you know. It may have gotten boosting from Russia or whatever, so I don't know. It seems too big. Of course, another nap. Although I did have the cool aspect that I dreamed of white brandy and then had to look it up, and yeah, it's a thing. We have some kind of shouting people back in the pavilion, and I think it's some kind of lesson group or something like that before. 4 diplomatic or military actions. I'm having to go back to where we were here with the 2 stars on the 4-to-1 or more. That ended up shifting to a guerrilla war. And I think, because I see that's a guerrilla war now, that doesn't make sense because Pakistan's attacking. They can't be attacking in a guerrilla war. I think that should have been an end to the war. So I'm going to have to jump back and do that. Remember, I looked at the wrong column and then had to fix it. So where the hell is it? It's got to be in here. There we go. So this is a situation where I don't think either side won. Why do I have the U.S. war here? Oh, the U.S. is attacking. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's the right one. It was the Indian one that wasn't right. Okay. I ended up, I know I did Intel at least once. I'm trying to remember what the other thing I did was. I can't remember. Oh, I did a DARPA over here because I can only do 2 of those total. I figure I'll get them out of the way. I don't know what else I want to do. I got a couple of places that are crisis level 3. I don't want those to stay there, so I'll try to fix those. So those both worked, one especially well, and now we're at the SOE, where we get 2 economic assistance. I don't remember what that does. I do not recall. It'll be on here. Improve an ally relationship or put a trending pro-US. Okay. I think all my allies are in good shape. So we're going to try to clean up some issues here. So for example, that one is definitely a positive place to do it. I really ought to be. I've got intel I got to do all over the place. There's terror groups everywhere. And I guess this one. And then we get all kind of goodies. 2 more APs. That's very helpful. And relations with Congress are as high as they can go. It's chit time. There's like 1 extra chit if you use up all of them. I get a cascading 3. Odd, even. This will be the bottom one. Multiple mass shootings. Oh, we were hoping to avoid this. Okay. We have not passed the gun legislation, so we don't just discard this. We had 1 to the LDI. Yeah, see, all these shootings and my thoughts and prayers, they're not winning me political power. I make a relation with Congress, Jeff, which is very likely to succeed. It does, barely. Congressional leaders agree to let you take the lead on gun legislation. You may place bill number 9 in the 0 box immediately. It's already there. There's already a gun legislation box. The question is, are they letting me scope a better gun legislation? One that, I don't know, reaffirms that we shouldn't allow machine guns, like maybe something like bump stocks or something like that, along that line. I don't know. I'm going to have to look to see. It would make sense to withdraw their bill and let me put a lesser bill, one that has a chance of being passed and signed, although honestly I don't have the right to decide whether I sign something or not, which again doesn't feel right. It feels to me like if something doesn't pass with that 2/3 majority and I really don't want it, I should be able to veto it, like by choice, not because it's a horrible bill, just by choice. You know, it should come with a public approval loss, and it should also be some possibility that they're going to override my veto, but I should know that that possibility is there, maybe based on how much support there is for it, etc. But yeah, it's I don't know. A place where bills are not really helping. Bills that are introduced to Congress, see below. It gives me this. It just gives me the one mechanism for putting things in play. Introduce new bills. Here, it's not clear from the card. So I just don't know. Maybe under event cards I'll be able to find something. Can't find an argument one way or the other. And this, see, the problem is that this happens twice, 2 and 3. I think they're going to allow me to put forward my own legislation in my right. And this goes to the discard pile afterwards. I feel like I could go either way on it, and in fact, what I probably would do is a very nuanced take on that card. You know, and this is just a matter of, oh look, I'm going to make up the rules as I go, because it's not specific and there's nothing on the event card about this. It's not the normal way of getting legislation into play. Which is to say, I'm going to use, you know, common sense. And in this case, yeah, they've got a failing bill. If they had one that was likely to succeed, they probably wouldn't cut a deal with me, even with that pass. But maybe they would. But here they have a failing bill that I've promised, you know, that maybe I'm not happy with and I'm opposing and trying to prevent it to be passed. And instead they say, okay, how about this? And we come to an agreement, and now I'm taking the lead on it. If they had had a failing bill, I would have also allowed them, in this, if I'm doing this interpretation, to put a new bill forward as an opponent at a higher ranking. But if their bill had decent support, they wouldn't let me do that. Anyway, that's what we're going with. And, whoa, oh no, I lost track of where I am. We get another chit draw. This time it's not a plus. It's draw a fistful of crisis cards. Excellent. Massive tornadoes strike the Midwest. +1 domestic crisis. I strongly oppose tornadoes. And I will not, I say, I repeat, I will not give them any succor. Place attentions on POTUS cab. And don't you dare blame this on global warming. Wow. Bernie's gone Republican? What? I don't know. Okay. Decide whether to spend 0, 1, or 2 APs and roll a die and subtract. We could get some public approval. Public approval is great and all, but The main thing I don't want to do is I don't want to roll a 5. I don't want a Katrina on my hand. So I will indeed spend 2 APs on this. And I'm lucky I did. And this looks like it goes into the redraw. What are these different letters? Oh, this is a... I got you. Goes to 2. This would go to 3 here. Okay. So now we're going to have cleanups on that. It's another cascading. But the cool thing is I did not get a... Oh, but I get 2 more of these. Joy! Russia discovers, exploits massive Arctic oil. Place an economy improving on the Russian SOE. Screw them. Roll a d10. Russia's relations are 1 or 2. They are. So that's going to be a +2. And I don't have much choice in this. We get a 12. Russia sells cheap oil to China. Place an economy improving on both China and Russia's SOE. Now, we already put an economy improving on Russia. They're in better shape now. And China gets an improvement. And that's not hot. And this goes into the redraws. And now there's one more. Collapse of Swiss UBS bank sends shockwaves across Europe, threatens governments. Decrease Eurozone SOE by a full box. Not good, not good. +2 regional crisis in the Eurozone and in Eastern Europe. Oh no! That's 2 major crises. And worsening economy on the US and Russia. Those actually don't take place yet. We have to do these crises. And these are worth, I think, exploring because they're such a big deal. So I got like a -5 in the Eurozone because everything is good there. Add 1 terror group to the area. It's those damn banking terrorists. Now, not going to be as good, I think. Oh, it would only be a -4. Not going to be as good in the Eurozone, though. Oh, and this goes down to a 2. That's kind of cool. I'll take that. Here, stability is only a 4, which is a +1. No allies. Okay. No civil war. No other war. No states. Should be a +1 for shitty stability. Increase level 2 or 1 terror group by 1 level. Okay. Add an unstable state to the region. Don't like that. On the back of the civil wars. Don't like that one bit, but whatevers. And now worsening on both US and Russia. Okay. And this will be a discard. And that'll be the end of that. Oh, there wasn't a plus here anyway. Fuck. Right. No, there is a draw again there. I skipped this one. There's no chance of that happening. So I get right down to the end turn. This only triggers if there's a plus here. Is what I'm guessing. the end of the game. If Crisis Trip had no plus, what the fuck? This isn't what I'm seeing here. So I had a Crisis Chit here. If it had no plus on it, I moved to the one ally rogue group acts segment of the activation phase. I don't see that. I don't see that. I think this is fucked up and not right. Move your counter to the one ally rogue group acts. I just don't think it's there. I think I'm in this end turn. I think this is a copy error of some sort, but I'm not at all certain. But I do not see any one ally rogue group attack segment of the activation phase. And this does not, I mean, those are here, right? One ally or rogue group attacks. Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to pretend that's just not there. And we go to the end of turn. I'll come back and announce anything exciting that happens. Because this section is the ultimate sort of recipe where everything's absolutely procedural. I'm just following step after step. I am horrible at these kind of lists. I can handle a big complicated sequence of play in games where, you know, most of the stuff follows very little of that sequence of play. Like you jump to the big things, and sometimes stuff, it doesn't matter too much what order you do it in or whatever. But when I'm faced with just an absolute recipe that's like page long or greater of detail like this, and here it's quite long, I end up, especially with the camera in hand, having a lot of trouble coping with it. Without the camera, it's a lot easier. Anyway, let me get to it. Lowest level public priority, which is the expanded military. Just making sure I didn't screw up and not remove any of these. That becomes kind of unimportant because that's likely to get knocked off. It's just not that big a deal. And, you know, yeah, it might bubble its way up. It might also get knocked off. And that's kind of the feel there. But I can change my own priorities now. Learn to match my own priorities to what I already have on there, because it's going to be hard to get something passed that I don't already have on there. And strangely enough, I don't think the new Congress is going to kill the bills that I have there. When a new Congress is elected, usually all the bills go away. We'll see if that's the case. If it is, I may change those. Like, when there's a new Congress, all the bills die, and they have to be reintroduced. Onward. Up on the consequences, our stabilities are not doing very well, so a fair amount of terrorism is showing up. Some of it's degrading. Also, we lost our relationship with India that we just regained because of the instability that our war has caused there. So, yeah. Some recruiting step went very poorly. I ended up getting increases in a couple of places. That's not a big deal. But in both cases, my Homeland Security failed. I got a couple more terror groups in there. Okay, I can deal with that, I guess. but there's also 2 more terrorism cards in there. And I've used up my, on that bioweapons attack, I used up my special trump against it. I needed to deal with this. Terror group goes away. We got a new rogue state here. Fuck, that's not good. Shit. State went up to a level 2 anyway. The Civil War here is increasing crises. And now it's time for military footprint. We have a bunch of these here. And I guess these are kind of like random events too. Let's see what we got. -1 to regional stability. Trending anti-US. You really don't want the military involved, but, you know, what can you do? What can you do? And where you have armies stationed is bad, but it's expensive to pull them out. Okay. This is going to be kind of painful. I'm going to have to use chits to tell me how many to put everywhere because there are a lot of them kicking around. So I'm going to do that with these chits. There'll be 2 there. I'll put them all in the cup. I'll mark it there. What happens here? No effect. Well, that's cool. That'll get a 1. I've just got so much military spread around. I got none up there. Here, oh, how is there so little here? Level 1 terror and no effect. See, most of these feel pretty good. I had a really bad one elsewhere. How much terror am I allowed here? Max 4, I think I'm okay. And that'll be a 2 there. May run out of number counters if I'm not careful. Now, and a whole bunch here. +1 to the highest level terror group. Fuck. I feel like we're getting battered here. -1 to regional stability. +1 regional crisis. -1 world opinion. Okay, and that's a 4 over there. And now I replenish all these places where I've got stuff to go. I don't need those numbers. It's based on the troops that are present. Key things is I have to get the units out that don't belong, you know, that I don't really need. So I can't get rid of this. This is always going to be causing issues. But, oh, there was a, no, not off them. It was off other rogue states. But like I have this light army unit here in Eastern Europe. I don't need that there. And I don't know where I need it. I probably want to just bring it home. And that's something I'm going to have to focus on, is using some of my military actions to pull back my military presence. It's a hard thing to do, and I have to say, if you look at the history of the U.S., where it sets up bases and whatnot, they kind of don't like drawing those forces down ever. So, yeah. To here. Shit, I forgot to deal with Eastern Europe, I think. Right? I feel like I rolled it. Not positive. Maybe not. Regional stability, -1. No ally. No civil war. I'm guessing I didn't. 3. If there are no level 1s, add a level 2. There are level 1s. If there's a single level 1, replace it with a level 2. If there's 2 or more level 1s, remove 2 of them and add a level 2. Okay. We'll do that. That's not too big an effect, so if I screwed up, it's not that big a deal. And this didn't come with a refugee crisis or anything like that, right? Yeah, those happen down there. And this goes down to 2, so I don't keep doing it if I have been. Good government didn't get me a lot. I got something in the Middle East, and that's it, really. Economic stability, I'll keep going. And here's something new. WD4 trade agreement. For each trade agreement on the board, I have one with the Eurozone. I get to roll here. Regional stability dropped down to a 7. Right? Yeah. 7. Regional crisis is not good. Influence, +1. Oh, that's not good. I lose some public approval for it. Okay. You know, we're allowing Europeans to lock out some of our goods or something like that. Who knows? Campaign promise, I'm not penalized by this. My public approval is 60 or higher. It is. Increase my RWC by 1. No, that's at the top. I draw a new friend. I have room for 1. My public allows me 4. Pretty good moderate. And he would be moderate on the other side too. This is a big deal. Like, I kind of wish I could make friends go away at my choice. If somebody's too radical for my view, or too moderate, if I want to, you know, if I want a more contentious situation, I should be able to distance myself from them, not be as positive. Again, the game covers a lot. I'm just pushing forward things that I feel like, I don't know if that's right, you know? Strategic missile, strategic defense. Neither one's higher than us, but this is worrisome. That could end up killing Homeland Security. I'm not playing it hard. I don't think I ever will. And this is year 2. Okay. There's a chance I lose a cabinet member. Nope. That's cool. Not at hard. Not year 4. Midterm elections. It should be talking to me about these here. I guess I get to it down here. See, this says historical. I don't know. This is just being confusing. This will probably tell me to do the midterms, yeah. Okay. So I get a new deck. Year 3 will be going in. These get shuffled in. We'll do that. Evaluation, public approval. Gets me 8 points towards this. 16 for Congress. 22 for media. 28 for economy. 34. Regional alignment, 4 or less. I'm at 34, 34, 34. My regional alignments are going pretty well. It's the stability that's not doing well. Each rogue state on the board, that gets me down to 32. India gets me down to 31. My two peers get me down to 29, which still doesn't quite get me to what I consider the best result that I can get, because the auto victory I just don't buy. So I get another legacy point and a public approval. If this is the end of 1 or 3, no. If this is the end of 2, it's time for the midterm elections. First time we do this. At the end of turn 2, we hold midterms to determine the makeup of Congress in the next 2 years. Roll a D10 on the election table. See below, and D17. Okay. I'm not sure why this table is printed in both places. For, like, this information is here, but you only use it in this final step. I don't think that's reasonable. It serves no purpose in being in both places. I gotta swap batteries. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, midterm elections. Roll a D10. After I can dismiss a couple of cabinet members for free. I don't know if I want to. If I'd gotten a shitty one, I would want to do that. Beginning of each turn sequence to begin turn 3. Yeah. Okay. This is not re-election. I'm not likable. Party relations of 4 or 5. This is for re-election. Yeah, there's no modifiers. Presidential prestige, public approval, and media relations. Well, with my approval, this can't be, because it starts at 18. Public approval has to be that 8. Prestige is only 6, so I'm at 14, and media gets me up to 20. So I'm on a pretty good table. Let's see how Congress goes. It is in my favor. If I was previously in control of both, there's no change. Otherwise, changes control 1 level in your favor. Draw 1 new friend in Congress, 3 legacy, and 3 public approval. Good luck that ever happening in a midterm. My public approval is ridiculous. Again, this is the easiest level. I don't really feel like I'm deserving of this much public approval. I feel like things should be a little rougher. I get another friend. I got room for another friend. If he's moderate, it's going to piss me off, though. He's radical. And this kind of sucks, because now I've got 2 radicals, 2 moderates. I no longer get the advantage. Of course, this is as high as it can go, so I'm okay with it. But I would rather have the 3 friends I had before, because, okay, the media relation may be useful, but the passing, I know the pending bills, you don't get, like, you can't amass the amount of points that I have and get any advantage out of it. And that is going to put me to turn 3. We have some cleanup to do. Why have I not gotten this? I know I have cleanup to do, and I don't know where it is. Was it back here? I went through these on my own. I don't know. Return all other crisis cups. Yeah, that's what it is. Right. I just didn't see that. What is it here? 4-star. What the fuck is this? When this track reaches war status, roll D10. That has to be Israel versus neighbors, yeah. And these, okay. This doesn't tell you that there's no indication here that when you go to war with the DPRK, that the U.S. has pulled in, and it really should. It really should. I don't think there's any other cases that are like that, because I'm pretty sure Israel-Iran is not, and the big ones, they just end the game. I know why. So these crisis chits, look, I keep making that same mistake. It's actually okay, though, in my book, because I don't want all those extra crisis chits pooling around until after I do things like the military footprint and stuff, where I have to use another cup for a lot of stuff. Things look pretty good, I guess. I don't know. So at the end of the first turn, I was panicking. Now I'm not, but maybe I should be, because I've got a new rogue state in play. I feel like my situation in the world as a whole isn't as good, although I do feel like I have a better grip on the Chinese and Russian influence, especially the Chinese influence. The Russians aren't going anywhere. And we got these tracks of North Korea and Iran down to their minimum. These are not as happy as they used to be. Israel's close to a war with their neighbor. Russia's close to a war with the Ukraine. Not happy about those things. It's kind of funny because, like, the best thing, you know, the best opportunity, sure, there's always the risk of nukes being used or whatever, but the best opportunity the U.S. has had is the Ukraine war. And I feel like neither administration has done the right thing in it. It feels almost like the aid has been too sclerotic, and now it's cut off completely. It's like only Europe can do it because we're busy, I don't know, invading countries at random. It really feels like in this current administration, you should, to play this properly, you might need to, like, invade a country, you know, at least every year, I would say. Maybe more than that. And you just have to. It's got nothing to do with the world situation, you know. I mean, we've dropped into two countries now in relatively significant ways. Sure, Venezuela was fast, but that's a total contradiction of the idea of national sovereignty. And then Iran, obviously. Oh, jeez. Oh, boy. And meanwhile, the thing that we can do, so China has not opened up something like Russia has with Ukraine, but we could basically have been funneling more and more increased resources into Ukraine, much like Afghanistan was used against Russia, much like Afghanistan was used against us, and Iraq for that matter. Basically, you do not want to get into a ground war that you're not going to win quickly. And if you can't get out of it, kind of feels like what we're doing in Iran, right? You know, we can't really get out of it. You know, I mean, the best option is basically abject surrender. Anyway, that's what it looks like, you know. And they're just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing because we have no threat. We have no threat. Yeah, you know, it's funny because Chomsky, he said something that he took a lot of flack for, which was this: I don't care about the US economy. That's what it gets quoted as. It's in regards to the war with Iran and whether or not Iran can get a nuclear weapon. And it's exactly the right statement to have. If you are indeed trying to prevent them from getting a nuclear weapon, if that is your primary goal, screw it. The US economy can take a hit for that. The world economy can take a hit for that. You get so much flack for that. But he obviously does care about the US economy and the world economy and is unwilling to pursue, if he knows anything, it's just not, if there's any real threat there after he totally obliterated their nuclear program, a few months earlier, and, won this war 34 times or whatever. If there's anything to that threat, then there's no way he should be backing out under the conditions that he is. It really looks like abject surrender to me. There was no reason to go in, I think, except that he had a boner and Bibi was like, let me stroke that for you. God. It's just, I was brighter than this at 13, Anyway. And to be fair, he was brighter than this in his first administration, too. He didn't pull this shit, and it didn't feel like he had the inclination to. But now it's just like completely unhinged.